Hello. This is story 53. When your ship is sinking and there's no hope of rescue or escape, I'm not sure which I'm going to call it. Trapped on a sinking ship with no hope of rescue. Before I get into story 53, I want to talk about, I haven't done story 52D, part 2. My encounter with Bigfoot, close encounter, the aftermath. There's two reasons why that's been postponed. Well, three. I'll give the third first. I've just been lazy and too busy with other things. Sorry. The other two reasons that sound better than that are one very good reason. One of the people on this channel, one of my viewers, man by the name of John, I'll just say that at this point, he contacted me, and he lives in the New England area, and he had a very similar experience to mine, similar beings, and he's put a lot of thought and work and research into it. And, between what he had to say and his story and my experience, we kind of realized a couple of things about this. And, so it's a bit of a collaboration, and I'm putting together notes on how to present this best. Right. The other reason is I've just bought a bunch of animation software and a nice drawing tablet, for the computer. And I've been wanting to kind of up my game here a bit with some nice animations on these videos. And I found that learning to use animation software and the hardware that goes with it, it's about the same complexity learning curve as learning a new instrument from scratch. There is definitely a learning curve to it. So that hasn't come along as well as I'd hoped it would. And I've decided I was going to do some animations for this video. And this video is about something that happened to me a week ago. I don't know that it's paranormal or not, but I wanted to share it. I think it has a message that can resonate to a lot of people, if not everybody at some point. Yeah, I was going to put animations into this, and I said, no, just get the story out there, man. Get the story out there. Get it out there. And, it's not really about all the fancy drawings, and if I could do animations like some of the other channels on YouTube, they make good use of animations, to help their story along. Well, I'm just going to tell this story, and this happened about a week ago. I don't think it's paranormal, and it really doesn't have to do with me physically being trapped in a sinking ship. All right? What it has to do with, and I'm not complaining, I'm not looking for sympathy or anything at all, trust me. But my mom died. This is her picture here. This is her memorial card and the cross that came with it. And this guy, I told you, I carved this guy and I just put him there. I don't know, it's kind of weird. He's just part of it, Earl. And I've been going through a pretty dark time, dark valley in life. And really just been kind of in a dark, lonely place in life. And we all get there at various points. And when you get older, I'll tell you what, if you're not my age yet, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm old enough. The older you get, it's different territory. You get in these valleys when you're younger, these lonely, heartbroken places where you've lost somebody one way or the other, or something tragic. And you see, it hurts like heck when you're younger. And when you're older, it hurts like heck too, but in a different way in my experience. So I'm going through a really dark time, missing my mom quite a bit. I mean, I accept that God took her when he did. I accept that. And I actually think it's a good thing, if it's the Lord's will, that he took her when he did. But it still left a big empty place in my life. That and some other things that are going on in my life. You're just getting up in the morning, there's no joy. It's like it's hard to find the enthusiasm sometimes to go through my day, though I do all right. I persevere. I'm not looking for sympathy. It's just a backdrop to this story. So a pretty depressing time lately. Some days are pretty rough. I'll get through it, but that's what's going on in my life for the past almost year at this point. My mom died about 5 months ago. So I don't put a lot of stock in dreams. Very few dreams. I think I told a story that relates to a dream I had at 17. And that's another story. I'll pop the name of that up, up here at some point. That dream story. And this is the only other dream story because I don't put a lot of stock in dreams, or at least my dreams. My dreams are always just nonsense. They're either scary or they're fun or they're weird. I don't put a lot into it. Excuse me. Well, going through a hard time, and I don't really dream much, honestly. I don't think I dream at all. At least I guess you dream every night, but if you don't wake up, you don't remember it, I'm told. Well, a little over a week ago, I had a fitful night's sleep, and I kept having these horrible dreams. And I kept waking up. I'd have a horrible dream, I'd wake up and say, oh man. Go back to sleep, have another different horrible dream, wake up and like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And go back to sleep. I remember there's a number of one, I was being chased by something. That's all I remember. The other one, I was in a really dark place where I couldn't see, and I'm feeling around in the darkness. And I was in some kind of a room, I could tell, but it was pitch black. And I'm feeling around, and suddenly my hands touch somebody standing right in front of me. My hands touch, I got the dog walks by. I'm like feeling around, and suddenly my hands touch somebody big. I'm 6 foot tall. My hands touched them right about here. So they're probably about 6.5 feet tall at least. A big, solid body, warm person. And they were just standing there. They weren't moving. And oh my God, that was freaky. And I got away and just kind of wandered back in the darkness, not knowing if they were following me or not. It was a bad dream. And I woke up. Now here's where this story comes in. I fell back to sleep, my third dream that night. I could see it was nighttime, and I was up in the sky, maybe 1,000 feet up. I used to be a paratrooper, so I know what things look like at different heights. About 800 feet up or less. No, make it 500 feet up. And I was looking down at this dark ocean with white caps, storms going on, and there's a ship in it, and it looked like a freighter. Looked like something from around 1940 or something. It wasn't a sailing ship. It looked like a freighter of some type. And that ship's tossing around, and it was sinking. The ship was sinking. And I got a dreadful feeling. The ocean always is a terrible thing. I love the ocean, but the power of the ocean always, it's like watching a big storm, and I could see that ship had no power. The ship didn't have any power, and it was slowly taking on water, and it was sinking. And there was no hope. And I thought, there's no way they're going to get out of this. There was no hope for them. They were going down in this ship, and I just watched it from above, this ship getting battered and slowly sinking. And then the next thing I know, I'm in a room inside the ship. I'm in this metal room. And it was lit, and it was metal. It's like a ship. The walls were metal. They weren't wood or anything. Metal, and the water was just about knee deep. And I was in there with another guy in this room. It was just the two of us. This other sailor and myself were in there, standing in the water, and we couldn't get out of that room. There was no escape. I don't know the circumstances, but we knew we were trapped in a room in a ship that's sinking at night in a storm. And we both realized without a word that we had no hope of surviving this. Oh, I hope I don't get choked up. God, I hate getting choked up. And I remember I'm standing on one side of the room up against the wall, and he's on the other side of the room, and we both had our arms like this, and we're just staring at each other. And we knew, we're going down. We both knew it. We didn't say a word. And we're just both, he is up against the wall, and I was up against the wall, and the water's slowly rising. There was no way to get out of that room. The light was still on in that room. And we're doomed men, and we knew it. And in the room, there was a table, like a metal desk, like for somebody, an old metal table, you know, like an office desk with drawers. And on top of that table, I looked at it, and there was a book on top of the table. And I walked over to it, and I picked it up, and it was my mother's Bible. And I opened it up, and it was full of notes. Oh my God. I don't want to get choked up. This is tough. It was full of notes, sticky notes, and I recognized it. It was her Bible. It was actually her mother's Bible. And she read that Bible every morning of her life. And every single page had notes and writing on it. And it was a black Bible, big Bible. And it was her Bible, the Bible I'd seen her for all my life read. And the guy on the other end of the room says, "What is that?" I said, "It's my mother's Bible." And he says, "What?" I said, "Yeah, come look at this." And he walks over there and he's standing next to me. And I said, "Look at this." I said, "Every single page has notes on it." He said, "That's amazing." I said, "Yeah, she read this thing every day." And next thing you know, this guy and me are reading the Bible, and we didn't care about the storm anymore. We were taking joy in this. And yeah, I think my mom always told me to read the Bible. And I think she's trying to tell me, Tim, pick the Bible up and read it. Get through these times. You know, I think that's what that dream was about. And the two of us are just standing there, thumbing through this, and we're like, the guy says, "Wow, that's really amazing." I said, "Yeah, it is." And we didn't care that the room was sinking, that we were going down. And we just were both standing there in awe. You know, more interested in this. Sorry. No more of these getting choked up videos. But, you know, I'm putting my heart into this, and this is all pretty fresh to me. So I think, you know, I'm not a big believer in dreams, but I think maybe my mom was trying to tell me, "Son, pick the Bible up and read it." Because if she was alive to tell me, she would tell me, "Tim, read God's Word. You'll get through this. Read God's Word." And it was her Bible. It was her Bible in my dream. And it was full of all her notes. And sadly, we lost that Bible. I don't know where it is. It's gone. It was my grandmother's Bible, then hers. And I would have liked to have had it. So that was it. The dream ended with that guy was standing here. And we're both just like, we're like a couple of kids looking at this Bible, you know, while the water's rising up. So there you go. When the ship is sinking that you're on and you have no hope, pick this up and start reading it. That's the message for this. And I'm all right with this. I know, I'm sorry I got choked up. Who wouldn't, you know? Yeah, all right, that's all. Oh, I'm going to do a beer review after this. I haven't done one in a while, but I went out tonight and I bought a 6-pack of beer. And I bought something I'd never bought before just to see how it is, because it's porter, and I like porter, and I haven't had a porter in a long time. And I never bought this beer before. And I realized right before I made this video, I said, it's Edmund Fitzgerald Great Lakes Porter. And it's like brewed as a tribute for a shipwreck, you know, that went down. And I said, wow, I'm doing a story about when you're on a sinking ship and there's no hope, you know, of escape or survival. And then I bought this beer tonight, not thinking about it. And it's all about a ship that went down, a tribute to a ship that sank with all hands on deck, the Edmund Fitzgerald. So, coincidence? I don't think so. Right? I don't know, honestly. So I think I might do a beer review next on that. So a beer review with a inspirational true story. So hang in there, folks. And I'll do the same here. Just hang in there. And you better believe I got this. I read this every morning now. Whether I feel like it or not, I start my day out with prayer, and I read this every morning. You can't ignore messages like that. You can't. If you ignore them, when God gives you something like that and you ignore it and throw it away, man, that's your loss. That's your loss. All right, take care. I'm all right. Sorry for the emotional display.